Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. At Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple, habit-based approach. We know that helping your clients become the best and healthiest versions of themselves isn't just about what they eat or coming to the gym a few hours a week. We, as gym owners and coaches, have to focus on a holistic approach, looking at support systems, stress management, sleep, mindset, lifestyle, and of course, exercise and nutrition. I'm your host, Nicole Coyne, registered dietitian and founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring. I'm also the author of The Basics of Nutrition Coaching, CrossFit Preferred Nutrition course. In this podcast, I'm going to teach you how to make one step at a time to becoming the best nutrition coach and building an awesome habit-based coaching program. Today's podcast guest is Dan Uyemura. He is one of the co-founders of PushPress. He actually started his professional career in the web tech space, but when he found CrossFit in 2008 and fell in love with it, he decided to open up a gym for himself in 2010. Well, he realized some of the big pain points that were out there with gyms in the member management software, especially in CrossFit. So he helped create a platform that was simple to use that is now PushPress. Well, PushPress has been growing rapidly over the years, and in today's podcast, we talk about what is under the PushPress umbrella now, some of the things that they're doing, especially with the upgrades with reporting, what numbers gym owners should be tracking and why, how nutrition integrates into that. Then we start diving into AI. How do we integrate this into the member management platform to make a self-running gym so that gym owners can focus on building the relationships in their community to increase retention? We talk about one of the things that sets PushPress apart, which is customer service, and how to correlate this in your gym. Lastly, we talk about the Healthy Steps Nutrition Live Workshop. PushPress is going to have a huge presence. They are presenting, they're co-sponsoring the welcome reception on Friday, where we're going to have some drinks, live music, some cocktails. It's going to be so much fun. We also have an amazing panel and keynote speaker coming on Friday. So we talk a little bit about what PushPress is doing. Make sure you stay tuned until the end of this episode, where we dive into exactly what to expect from the Healthy Steps Nutrition Live Workshop. Well, enjoy this episode with Dan Uyemura. Dan Uyemura, welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast.
Great to be here as always. I love talking to you and your guests.
So you were on recently. We'll have to link that back. We were talking about SEO, which we still talk about all the time. You guys have done a ton of stuff to help gyms increase their SEO, search engine optimization, but you guys are doing so much more now with PushPress. For people who've never heard of PushPress before, which I don't know how that is possible, what is PushPress and what's underneath the PushPress umbrella?
Oh, so I mean, when we started PushPress, we just wanted to build a better gym management system, software, platform. It's slowly and surely evolved. As we kind of got in the process of building PushPress, we realized that there are so many touch points that gym owners need to work with, and those touch points become orders of magnitude stronger when the systems work together coherently. So it's spun off to be a little bit more than just gym management software, but that's still the centerpiece of what we do: scheduling and billing and staff management and access control and waivers and stuff like that for gyms.
Awesome. So you started there, and you guys are actually unique because one of the things you offer, first of all, you guys, most of you have all been gym owners or in the gym management or coaching realm in the past. So you understand the struggle it is sometimes, at least starting a gym, and the pain points that gym owners go through. But one of the things that is unique about PushPress, and one of the reasons why we drive, especially new businesses, to just get started with you guys right away, is you have an option that doesn't charge people monthly if they're underneath a certain amount of revenue. Like, you guys are truly just there to help gym owners.
Yeah, I mean, to be completely transparent and fair, it does have a premium on the processing fees for credit cards. So it's kind of, I see it as a pay-as-you-grow solution, which is just more small gym or new gym friendly, because right when you open a gym, you don't want to spend $200 plus on a software package when you have 0 members, right? So, and kind of what you said and you touched upon is kind of how we build product and how we see this entire world is because we've been trenches and we know what it's like to be gym owners. And not only that, actually, because we're friends with our clients and other gym owners. You know, you yourself are a gym owner and a client of PushPress. We talk through and we see the struggle every day. And our clients, just like a gym's clients, they're not just dollar signs to them. They're actually their friends or, you know, part of their community. Our clients are part of our community and we genuinely want them to do well. So understanding what they need, both from the lens of like what we needed as clients and they need by talking to them, is critical in building the right product, in my opinion.
I think the thing, so we've been through not all, but almost all of the different member management softwares over the past 10 years since we've been in business. And the one thing that I say over and over and over again about PushPress that stands out of all the things that you guys do is the customer service. Like it is, I don't understand how you guys do it. Like you send in a message and then immediately Barry or someone on the team is like responding right back with a person communicating with you to answer the problem instead of it going back and forth a million times and it being a super frustrating experience from a gym owner standpoint.
Yeah. I mean, I'll talk to a couple of these points because these are very relevant, I think, to any gym owner or personal trainer or whatever listening right now. You have to, when you're building your business, understand where your unique advantage is, where you're coming from that wins. And like, I always think of things as David and Goliath. Like we are David. There are a bunch of Goliaths out there who have way more money and way more resources than we do. So we need to play this game in an area that we have an advantage. And that's talking to gym owners in every way possible. So pretty early on, we decided as a culture, and this is kind of like point number 2. So point number 1 is understand your strengths and play David and Goliath games, right? So if you have an Orange Theory in your backyard, play David and Goliath with them, right? Number 2, once you understand what your strengths are, build your culture around it, right? So not only are you, the owner, deciding like, hey, we're going to do good customer service, but you're building your entire team around the idea that like, these clients mean everything to us. We will do everything we can at any hour of the day to support them in every way we can, whether it's troubleshooting their Fire Sticks or helping them with their Chromecast devices or whatever. Like, let's just help them because they need help, right? And, you know, on the selfish side of it, we do that not only because we care about them, but because we know all of our competition can't, because they're hiring like college interns have never run a gym to come in and just, you know, work a 300 person call center, right? So that two critical points, like if you want to infer that into your gym business, is like where can you play diet, where are your strengths and how can you lean into them and build a culture around it? That's key, you know, in what we're all doing.
And it is so clear with everyone on the staff at PushPress, you guys prioritize customer service and everyone is just there to help. One of our employees actually works for you guys, and you know it's been fun to watch him get onboarded with you guys. And it's just like from the first onboarding experience from your team, like you guys do such an incredible job. Like I want to go work for PushPress, which we'll talk about. We're
hiring a ton right now. So I mean, I do want to say this because the customer support, like they're the front line, so they get all of the attention and they deserve it. They do a great job, but what you see in customer support is permeated throughout our company, from management into our engineers, into our product design people. Like everyone is feeling the same thing. It's just our clients can only talk to customer support, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Talking about a different department, Zach, the partnership person who's an awesome human being, him and I have been going back and forth a lot. And he's talked to me a little bit about some of the things that are going behind the scenes with reporting. I know this is a big initiative. I know you guys are working on reporting and coming up with some new reporting stuff. What is your vision for reporting for the next version of the reports that you guys push out at PushPress?
If me personally, I have a very conflicted view of reporting. So first and foremost, our reporting from the get-go was built to be simple. So what we didn't want is to turn a gym owner into a data analyst and have them like figure out how to build pivot tables and filter off this, that, and the other. And we just want to give them the data that they needed. Now, for the power user segment, which is 20% of our clients, that's not even close to enough. So we're trying to build reporting tools that give people the who are power users the ability to slice and dice their data the way they want. I will always go back to the idea that I don't really want gym owners playing data analysts, not only data analysts, like data engineer, figuring out how to shape the data, and then data analysts, like what does this data mean to my business, right? So by and large, I feel most gym owners should show up and focus on their clients, and the data should just be put in front of them in a way that just tells them what's going on instead of making them figure out what's going on. That all being said, they are doing a reporting overhaul, which will kind of like allow people to shape shift all the data into what they need, build the reports how they want, save them, et cetera, stuff like that. And that's that, which I'm sure we'll probably talk about later, is kind of precursor stuff to some of these bigger initiatives we're doing, which include like AI, Presley type stuff as well.
Awesome. So I want to dive into the numbers for a couple minutes because I don't think most people don't track anything, so they have no idea. And if it's not easy, they're not tracking it. And then I want to tie in nutrition to that. What are some numbers that you think gym owners should be tracking?
So ironically, we were just talking about this in an executive meeting yesterday. I think the number one data point that the gym owners all want to know is how many members I have and how much revenue do I make. Revenue is a good one, but I like to look at revenue more as what we call in our industry MRR, which is monthly recurring revenue, which probably most gym owners can understand what that's your subscriptions. The recurring revenue is important because you don't have to do any additional work to capture that money other than keep the client happy, right? You've done the work to get the payment on file, and now you want to keep them happy. The other two numbers that I think are critical to any type of business, like running a gym, even our business as a software company, is our churn rates and revenue retention rates, right? And revenue, they sound the same, but they're slightly different. So churn rates is going to be how much money are you losing? If you take a cohort or a group of clients, like whoever you had on the first of the month minus what you ended with on the last of the month, that would be your churn rate, right? So to keep numbers simple, if you had $1,000 of MRR on the first of the month and you had $800 at the end of the month, you lost 20% or $200, right? So that's good to track both in percentages and in raw dollar amount churn rate. Net revenue retention, which in our industry is called NRR, is basically you take the upsell and downsell and churn, right? So for instance, if you were my only client and you were my CrossFit client and you paid me, let's keep the numbers easy, $100 a month for CrossFit. Sorry, if we had two clients, you and someone else, each paid me $100, one of them quit, so my 200 went to 100, but I upsold you on nutrition for $400 a month, right? Mm-hmm. So really, my 200 became 500, and my net revenue retention is actually a positive 300, right?
Got it.
And
interesting that you just brought this up today in our affiliate roundtable. We were talking about where is revenue coming from, right? So they were like, okay, what percentage of revenue is nutrition, personal training, group fitness, all of these things. And then they were also talking about if you had to add 20 new members this month, what would you do? And in my mind, I'm like, okay, 20 new members is going to bring us in $3,300. And if I were to divide that by our family nutrition coaching, our high accountability nutrition coaching, I need way less members to bring in that amount of revenue and then upsell them on personal training or nutrition or fitness later. So I think it's a unique concept. And I love that you guys are talking about this and potentially starting to track it.
Yeah. So, and what it is basically is you got to think of it this way in any business. And I talk about like, this is the stuff we go through in our business, but everything we do applies to these gyms exactly the same. Everyone thinks in the software world and in the gym that the solution to all your problems is getting more clients, right? But really this is two things. It's stopping any bleeding of clients first, and then being able to sell your clients better valued services, new service level packages, anything like that. And then it's adding new clients after you've solved those two things in front of it. So to me, the churn rate's the most important one, because for every gym that tells me if they just had 20 more clients, and if we pulled apart their churn rate and said, well, that 20 will be 8 by the end of the year, so you're going to need another 30 by the end of the year, and getting them to realize that if they turn that 8 to a 15, it's more meaningful than adding clients, right? And then layering in things like personal training, nutrition coaching, and all this stuff to make the client value go up so that they're willing to spend more with you. That, again, it's a captive customer, right? It's easier to sell into a captive customer than it is to find a whole new customer over and over again.
Right. I love this. Okay. So you guys are actually talking about the reporting stuff in detail, what gym owners should track, why to track it, how to track it, all of these things. This is going to be a big conversation that you guys are doing at the live workshop. I do want to touch on the nutrition app in PushPress Core, which we need to rename to nutrition reporting because people think that it's the Healthy Steps Nutrition app that they are getting. But you guys are making it easy for gym owners. Any person can download this. It's a PushPress client to track their nutrition revenue. So you can look at nutrition only revenue. You can look at hybrid revenue. You can look at turn rate for your nutrition clients to see what's going on with specifically that nutrition sector.
Yeah. So the idea there was kind of similar along those lines. Like our thesis was if you get a client on nutrition programming as well as whatever your gym is selling as a group fitness program, your churn rate will be lower, your average revenue per client will be higher, and your lifetime value of the entire experience with that client will be much higher. And those numbers were set up to prove that and show people that they were on the right track by selling nutrition, right?
And it did, which is awesome. It does.
Yeah. And I mean, it wasn't a hard thesis to prove, but sometimes you just need to see the numbers, right?
Yeah, I think it's important because, adding a nutrition program is an investment, right? You have to invest in that coach to get the training, and there's time investment. There's a lot of things that go into it, but is that time worth your investment? And we can say absolutely. All right. You mentioned something. I want to shift gears from reporting to something that's super exciting, that we think about AI as like self-driving cars. I know we've had many conversations about Teslas over the years. How does this relate to the gym sector with AI?
So, I mean, my job here is to be kind of a visionary, and my dream is to have a self-driving gym, right? The reality is driving a car and driving a gym are very different. And probably the truth of it is an honest to God self-driving gym might be possible at Planet Fitness, probably is not possible in a boutique fitness studio that's built around community and results, right? This is actually the first time I'm saying this because we've had deep dive conversations about this over the last month or two. What AI can do in the context of a boutique gym is tee up a busy owner with things to do, and they can take it in the context of, because it needs a human interaction point to understand, like, this person needs to be talked to in this tone, or this person's sensitive about this thing, because we have these human relationships with our clients. So again, in a Planet Fitness where everyone's kind of a number, you can send a generic text or a generic email, or you can create some generic workflow that works most of the time. And if it doesn't, you don't care. But we don't want to miss on our clients in our space. So I envision it like, let's think of it this way. Most gym owners show up to the gym. They have so many things to do that maybe they're able to do one or two things. But I mean, I can say from my experience, it would be easier for me to go do some heavy deadlifts or back squats than it would for me to try and figure out which of the 80 things I have to do that I actually am going to do today. So often things didn't get done, and I would hang out with my customers anyways. Our theory right now is like, if we can get a gym owner to take one positive action that we can have, that has data to back it up, to show that it's going to create a positive outcome in their business, one thing a day, imagine doing 20 or 30 things a month that were positive to your business, and we can show you the ROI on it, like what kind of lift that can do for your business, right? So that's the first iteration thinking now.
I want to dive into this a little bit because I think for so many gym owners, we open up a business because we're passionate about CrossFit or fitness, whatever type of thing. So, the automations, I can speak from my husband's experience, right? He came from a captain at the fire department and trying to teach him how to use like a software and Zoom and any type of tracking thing was quite the learning curve. And I can assume most gym owners are probably the same as him. What kind of things would this look like to help a gym owner save time so that they can focus on their clients and potentially save money because clients would not be dropping?
Yeah. So you can pretty much just think of any outcome that you need to get in your business that, like you said, saves time. It can increase engagement with the customer, upsell them into something, or even get a customer in the door. I'll give you one of my far-fetched ideas that's a little bit out there, and then I'll dial it back into something that's a little more realistic. Using data, we can probably look at your gym and say, like, you average this many leads per month. which convert into this many members. You are on track to be way below that this month for whatever reason. The system doesn't know. It can pop up a custom landing page automatically based on parameters of like what we want to sell. It can automatically place Facebook ads. It can drive people into the funnel. It can book them onto your calendar. You just show up on Tuesday with 3 people showing up for a no sweat intro or whatever you do, right? Like that's a far-fetched but realistic use of AI, right? And then once we see that your calendar's filling up and we know that you convert at 38% and you've got 14 on the books and you're going to be good again and you don't want to spend more than X dollars a month, we'll take the ads back down, like automatic. That's a sexy version of what we can do, right? Which I saw your eyes light up a little bit. It'd be fun to build that, honestly.
That would be crazy. But the thing is because you guys have sites, because you guys have core, because you guys have grow, like technically all of those pieces to build a landing page really quick, the calendar and grow and the automations, like workflows, technically it's far-fetched, but all of the pieces are there. You just have to put the puzzle together.
I mean, honestly, the hardest part would be automatically taking out Facebook ads that resonate with the audience and so like when the AI stuff takes over this type of stuff, you'd be putting out, you wouldn't do anything, but it would create 50 ads with different text and different images and different variations of all this stuff. And it would pay attention to which is performing and it would slowly take down the ads that don't perform and leave you with like 3, right? That's going to be the hard piece to write. Although it's stuff like that's already been written, it's out there. So it can be done. A more realistic and short, in a shorter time window thing that we can build is like a referral generation system, right? So that's a very necessary component of any gym. Like we can pay for ads, like on the other spectrum, we can pay for ads and try and drive people through a funnel into our gym, or we can ask people in our gym who already love us, like, just can you bring a friend in, right? Most people don't want to make that ask, or they don't know when to make that ask, right? And the when is probably more important than having the gusto to make the ask. You ask it at the wrong time, it's, you only get to ask that a couple of times in a client's life, right? So using data points, we can probably figure out when a good time to make an ask is. Or we can even build a experience funnel around a testimonial and say, like, we know when people onboard through this certain fundamentals course, and like 2 weeks after that, their happiness is at a high because we surveyed them, we got the data. Like, so we're going to make an experience funnel around making this referral ask. We're going to send out automated text from you saying, like, can you give us a rating 1 to 5? Let me know how we're doing. Oh, it's a 5. Great. Hey, you know what? I'm giving people their friends a free month or whatever you want to do as the offer. Like you bake the offer into it. 2 weeks free if you bring in a friend. 2 weeks for you. 2 weeks for them. You have any friends? Oh, okay, cool. Go to this page and enter their email address, and we'll get it going. Right. So like these are some other, and so this is not too deep down the AI route because it's just like we kind of know the data tells us when to make the ask and how to make the ask and all these things, but the rest of that's not really hard to imagine, right? You're sending a text, you're sending them to a landing page, they enter an email address, they get an offer, right? So it's kind of connecting all the dots at the right time, at the right place, and then refining it, right? Paying attention to the data to make sure you're doing it at the right time.
Yeah. I love it. And some of the things, you guys have already built out through Grow too, like the new member campaign and asking for a referral in that journey, right? In that first 90 days, asking for that referral. It's already built out for gym owners. I think sales funnels or, the funnels that you guys are building out and Grow, and we have some automations that are layered on top of what you guys have for HSN clients. That is such an easy thing to make sure no one falls through the cracks, make sure there's like designated touch points that gym owners are not doing right now. And I guarantee they're losing leads because they're not following up with them. And if you have some automations with text and email, it really does help you streamline your process and get more people in the door.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to think of this in stair steps of a better, more optimized business, step 0 is just like you, gym owner, show up every day and try and figure out who to ask and who to talk to and what to do. The next step would be some type of an automation, which would be like 90 days after someone joins, ask them if they want to, refer somebody. The next step beyond that would be a smart automation, which would be like, let's first prompt them to see if they're teed up to refer somebody. And if they are, then make the ask. And if they aren't, take them out for coffee and understand what's going wrong. Because you don't want to ask someone for a referral if they're pissed, right? And then like the step beyond that, which is where we're trying to get to, is a smart automation that learns and uses data to refine over time to make it better. And that data might be based on your gym, your region, the entire industry, right? It all matters, right? Like asking for a referral in New Hampshire might be different than in LA, how that looks and when to do it.
I love it. And there's so many different steps, and I guarantee there's so many people that like just need to start with step one so that they do get Google reviews so it can increase their SEO. And hopefully you're asking them, how's nutrition and fitness helped you, so that people specifically say nutrition coaching if you are offering a nutrition coaching program, so that when people read your Google reviews, it's really obvious that you offer nutrition, fitness, and accountability. One of the things that you mentioned earlier, one of the strong things that sets PushPress apart is the customer experience. I was looking up some AI stats, and it talked about 1 in 4 customer service organizations, 23%, are using some type of AI. And I feel like the gym owner industry is really behind that. You guys are starting to do some of this already, and it's going to be even bigger. What does that look like for increasing the client experience with where you guys are going with AI and just PushPress in general?
Yeah. So again, we can talk this about in phases. Most technology goes in phases, right? So phase one is you have to remember to reach out to every client for whatever reason you need to. What we've seen with a lot of these chatbots and AI systems, and AI is a very generous term in the most cases to apply to things, but the first wave of these were kind of like a chat window you can pre-program. So it's like, hey, are you looking for nutrition or fitness? Type 1 or 2, and you type 1, and then it's like, great, you already pre-programmed all this stuff just by entering text boxes, right? That's a very linear thing that you can't deviate from. It's not human, right? You can't say like, actually, I wasn't looking for either of those. I just wanted to know what time your hours were. You can't do that. Step 2 would be, a push version of that. So instead of me having to go to your website and start typing on a chat box, which everyone here has experienced one way or another, it would be like it gets pushed to you. Hey, I noticed you didn't have been to the gym in 5 days. Is there anything I can do for you? Blah, blah, blah. Like, because you've noticed something's happened and you're proactively making a reach out on that, right? And then again, step 3 would be the most complicated one, where you're kind of learning from the experience. You're learning we have a desired outcome, we have a thesis on how to get them there, and it didn't get them there. So let's try again with a different way and figure out the way to get there, and use more advanced technology pieces to kind of get that to go. I mean, we've all been through the first iteration of that, where it's very robotic and very clear you're not talking to a human being. And again, I do believe in our industry, we're not going to be able to roboticize everything. So my vision of a lot of this chat stuff is going to be a push where it's learning to do the right ask at the right time, but it puts you as the coach in the middle of the push. So it comes from your number. When the person replies, it comes back from you. And there might be a timer on it where it's like, if you don't reply in 4 hours, auto send this reply. But you as the human can always jump back in and use your intuition and your human senses to make sure that conversation goes the right way.
I think at the end of the day, you are helping people not fall through the cracks and making it easy for gym owners to identify who are the red flags. Let's start the conversation with these people so they don't fall off and us lose members and revenue at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, that's the key, is just like people don't know what they don't know. And it's impossible for a human being to know all of these little signals that are happening that are telling you someone might quit or someone might be ready to refer somebody, whatever. You just can't pick up on all that stuff. But if it's put in front of you, you might go like, oh yeah, that's right. She PR'd the other day. She was telling me about her friend. She mentioned Mary. And I just didn't, I've been so busy, I didn't think about it. But if it's just like, hey, and the conversation starts, then you're in the middle of it and you can just go with it. It just saves you the energy and it builds the inertia for you, right?
I think one of the cool things that we love about Grow is any of our coaching staff can jump in. Like, it's one streamlined number, which is super helpful. Like, as a gym owner, a lot of times it follows you home, right? Like all of this stuff. And the cool thing on vacation, but if you have one streamlined number where other people on your staff, it takes the burden off the gym owner completely, so that you're decreasing burnout from a GM, coaches, and a gym owner, like all of it.
Yeah. So if you actually go back to the very first thing we talked about our customer service, this is the kind of one of the critical pieces of it is the fact that it's a unified chat box that any customer service person can handle. Sometimes I jump in when I can. Like everyone on the team knows that our clients are important. When they have questions, we want to answer them, and we are a team doing this, right? So if you can instill that culture, remember I was talking about, having that culture and then distilling it amongst your team. If you get your coaches buying into that, like, and everyone's chipping in, like we get experiences where two people are answering at the same time, right? And they have to so that one of them has to pull back, right? So you want to kind of create that type of situation. And like you said, it's a unified inbox. So the text goes out and any other coach could just jump in and take over. Oh, Nicole's actually coaching right now, but let me help you out with that. Like, do you know how much goodwill that wins from a potential customer or a customer when it's like, oh, well, the person you're trying to talk to is busy, but I'm going to step in and do this for you, right?
It's amazing. And I think that's what sets us apart as small boutique fitness owners is we can have those relationships, build those relationships because we're helping people and the service comes first. I want to look at the big picture with PushPress. You guys, we talked about expanding a little bit. You started off with core, but now you guys have sites. So you guys get websites up and running, relevant websites up and running that are tested, that work for gym owners pretty quickly. Grow, which is a member management software. We personally use it. I love it. It has brought old clients back to us. It has gotten leads. It has kept leads, moving them into clients. It's been amazing for us. And now you've got Train. Like you guys are doing so many things. Talk to me about all of this and how it all works together.
So we've actually combined websites and Grow into one unified Grow product. So technically Grow is sites and the automations, lead nurture, member nurture, I call it customer lifecycle journey type software. We did that because what we found was the automation didn't work well unless it was placed at the right place on the website and it interacted in a certain way on the website, and vice versa. The websites never worked as well without the automation stuff on it, right? So we just put them together because our business is to maximize client outcomes, and we were selling two products that it was like 1 + 1 = 3 when we put them together. So we put them together. I lost track of the initial question.
Train. You guys just launched Train.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw it back at the games last year. Barry and I were talking about it. You guys are just released something with NC Fit. What is Train and how does that integrate with Grow and Core?
So Train is like a digital whiteboard workout tracking / community building app for your athletes. We all kind of know the benefits of that in the CrossFit space or functional fitness space. It's a way for you to publish your workouts, let your members know what the workout's going to be so they can prepare for it. They can record their workouts. They can benchmark their previous results, stuff like that, right? Pretty cool system. The reason this is all interesting to me is because each one of these provide touch points that allow us to understand the customer of the gym, right? So again, you want to go back to that testimonial thing. Like if Train starts signaling back to the AI data collection engines that a person is consistently working out, consistently logging results, and not only that, but like their results are getting better and better by whatever benchmarks they're entering, we have a good customer, and the system can understand that and use that for testimonial generation, referral generation. We might notice that like, hey, their Metcon, if we want to get really nerdy about this, like all of their engine stuff's working really well, but they're not getting stronger, right? Or every workout with muscle ups in it, they get a terrible score, but every workout with everything else, they do great. Well, hey, we got a gymnastics seminar coming up. We got an Olympic lifting seminar coming up. Let's make sure we make that offer, right? These are people that need these products. All this stuff is possible once you start integrating all of the data points together, right?
I love it. I think it's super exciting. Right now, to get Grow, you have to be a core client. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. But Train, you don't have to be, or you do?
Train, you do not have to be, simply because the complexity of Train is it actually works for remote one-to-many coaching and remote one-to-one coaching as well. So by virtue of the way that it's been programmed, you can do in-gym group, you can do in-gym one-on-one private training, you can do remote group, or you can do remote private training. So there are, businesses out there that I only do remote one-to-one. So you can use something like Train to work with all your clients.
And then use Core to get the memberships up and going and automatically re-enroll people every single month.
Well,
You
no,
guys
no,
are doing,
Train will do that. Train will do that in and of itself. If you're
oh,
just a
wow.
remote coach. Yeah. If you're just a remote coach, you can run all your recurring subscriptions through Train itself.
Oh, that's awesome. I did not know that.
So it's kind of like
Um,
a mix between SugarWatt and True Coach put together.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. You guys are doing some absolutely incredible things. You're definitely leading the way. And I think it really comes down to some of the core values that you guys have as a company, putting the customers first, and you guys having a unique lens because you all have been gym owners or are currently gym owners in this space, understanding the pain points of gym owners. We at Healthy Steps Nutrition absolutely love working with you guys. And I reached out to you because we're hosting a live event in September. And you said, Nicole, let us do whatever we can do. You guys are sponsoring the happy hour. Of course, you guys are sponsoring a happy hour, sponsoring a happy hour and cocktails on Friday to kick it off, which is going to be so awesome. And you're bringing quite a few people from the team and doing a few different things. So I want to talk about that really quick. We talked a lot about customer service. Barry is going to come on a panel and he is going to talk about customer service and why it's important and how to prioritize it as a gym owner. You and Sam are actually going to talk about creating systems, automating some of the process to turn leads into raving fans, which I feel like every PushPress client is a raving fan. So you guys can talk from experience there. And then you guys are also doing a small breakout session on KPIs and reporting what to track, how to track it, all of those things. Talk to me a little bit about your vision for the workshop.
I mean, like I said, this is just such an interesting thing about what we do. It's like, if you go back to your corporate career, if you had a corporate career before this and they ask you to go to like the, I don't know, pencil convention or whatever we did, right? And it's like you begrudgingly go because it's a weekend in Orlando or wherever it is. And it's like you don't care about the people there and you don't care about the product you're selling, but you go. I can't get enough. I have to turn people down to go to these types of events because everyone loves gym owners. Everyone loves the industry. They're going to meet their friends there. It's like, this is not work, right? So, and then on top of that, we get to talk about things that we believe in. We know will move the needle for gyms and we know will help them. And it's really it's our passion play. So as many of these types of things that we can go to, the better for everyone involved, right? And it's not work for us. So we're super excited. Like we said, the more we can participate, thank you and for being gracious enough to let us play along with you and your group, the HSN group. And yeah, like it's going to be a great time. It's going to be fun. And hopefully we can actually get a bunch of non-HSN clients from the PushPress side down there so they can learn about how they can increase their revenue from the nutrition side of the house in their business and build another business inside their business, if you will.
I love it. I'm so excited. I think there's something so special getting in person with other gym owners who are super passionate. You leave with this fire. I know you guys you've done a ton of mentoring things over the years. I've done a bunch too. And we go to these conferences or go to these little workshops and then we leave just super excited and inspired. Because to be honest, sometimes it feels like you're on an island. Like most of us are, especially when we're working with other gym owners, we're on Zoom all day long. So getting to see people, give people a hug, connect with people, it's just so much fun and inspiring.
I couldn't agree more. And I mean, I don't think you could have stated it better. And that is the reason why I am so bullish on the gyms that we're representing, because these are the communities that people need in their lives. I joined a gym. I just moved to Las Vegas and we joined a gym here because me and my wife looked at each other and we're like, we know 2 people in all of Las Vegas. Let's go join a gym, right? Like, how do you build community instantly? It's in these gyms. And the more people in the world that get to understand that, like everyone's lacking human connection right now in a major way. So it's like our clients, your clients, they have a lot of work to do and they're doing good work. So excited.
Absolutely. Dan, as always, thank you for coming on the podcast. I'm excited to see you in person in a few months.
Hell yeah. See you then.
I hope you enjoyed that episode with Dan Uyemura. PushPress is really leading the way, combining tech, member management, and systemizing the processes to make it simple for gym owners to manage all of their clients' leads so that they can focus on building communities within the walls of their gyms. I want to spend a couple minutes talking about the Healthy Steps Nutrition live workshop. We are so excited to be hosting this live event for gym owners. We also have some managers and some nutrition coaches attending this who are super passionate about prioritizing health inside of their gyms. So what's going to happen is there are presentations, there's going to be breakout sessions, time for application. Instead of going to a conference where it's a fire hose of information, we are going to help you be able to apply this information so that you can take action immediately when you go home. One of the awesome things that we're going to be doing during this time is we are taking some high-level thought leaders in the health and fitness space and giving them 6 minutes to do a 6-minute strategy. Basically, bring forward your best idea and 2 simple tips to help gym owners take action tomorrow. It's going to be really fun in a way to get some ideas, but then we're going to go into some panel discussions and a way for you to ask some questions. There's going to be a ton of time for networking. I think one of the biggest values for in-person events is the time to connect with other business owners, similar thought leaders as you, people that are prioritizing health and wellness inside of their gyms. We have people from the coach development space, branding, telling compelling stories, story brand, doctors talking about sleep and stress management, mental health, employee wellness is going to be a huge component of this workshop. So many gym owners have realized they want to expand their reach beyond the walls of their gym. Employee wellness is a great strategy to do so. And I'm going to tell you exactly how we've done it successfully at Healthy Steps Nutrition HQ and how we've helped hundreds of other gym owners through the Healthy Steps Mentoring program do it as well. Well, there are only 200 tickets total to this event. We are almost already 50% sold out. I would love for you to get your ticket, lock in your spot today. All you need to do is click the link in the show notes or go on growyournutritionbusiness.com and grab your ticket today. It is going to be an event that you do not want to miss. Hope you enjoyed this podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and we'll see you back here next week.